And now Grog just searching the map, pushing out a little bit. It's great how he's being still aggressive now, even though he's so far behind in this game.
Yeah.
He's using the mobility of these speedlings and just the protection of the Roach and Hydra Ball to know that he's a little bit of a force to be reckoned with. It is a shame that that Observer is just following him everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was aware of the Observer following him, and I think just having an Overseer morph would have been enough to probably prevent me from being aware of his movement.
And he has the money. Really, at this point, has too much gas, but this was a bad battle to pick right here for him.
I caught him in bad positioning here.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of you've caught him in a lot of bad positions in this game, and
that's actually the beauty of Observers is in both of those positioning faux pas. That's the word, right?
Sure.
On Grog's the faux pas on Grog's part were because I was able to scout him with an Observer. So just to be aware when you're against Protoss in general, as Zerg or Terra, just as a player tip in general is you do really have to always be mindful of the fact that there can be Observers watching you, because when Observers can shadow you and follow your movement, the Protoss, if he's good, is able to catch you at the worst possible positioning that you can be in.
Now, this is, being behind this far is always the toughest spot to be in. And it's always the moment when your mind is just going, what can I do? What can I do? And that's why right now you see a Baneling Nest going down. Because that's just along that thought chain of what can I do? I can't break him as it is. And so kamikaze units are the next best solution of let me wear him down and just... He needs one battle.
Yeah.
When you're in this kind of situation, you need one battle, even if it's small. On a map like this, you're not going to have the opportunity to go in and kind of snipe an expansion because all the expansions are close together. You only have one. It's well guarded. So at this point, he needs to just have one gain, and Banelings could be the answer to that.
It can definitely help him, especially in the worker line, because I mean, really, if you look, I'm really ahead of him on workers this game, 44 probes to 31 drones, and that's really significant as Zerg, because you really want to be ahead on drones as Zerg.
Now just pulling back because this Colossi is just so dangerous.
But he actually pulls back into horrible positioning because that Colossus is able to just
have vision of this whole cliff, and
that cliff is bad for fighting a Colossus.
He's noticing that he's pulling back, but still, especially with all these sentries here, I mean, really the point you have to do right here is just pick off these sentries, get these shields down, so you start doing some kind of damage, but there's just too much. You're just too far ahead. I don't think there's any hope for Grog right now. And there it is, the GG.
Guardian Shield is also very strong against Hydralisks and all range units, especially like fast shooting ones like Hydralisks. So, I mean, you really have to be... The cool thing about sentries is that you have those choices of Force Field or Guardian Shield, and you usually see Protoss is using the Force Field to split up the Hydralisks and like sort of reduce their arc of fire. But I think people should really start to consider using Guardian Shield more because it is really so strong. It's like armor. It's an extra armor upgrade.
It is, and especially when going against sentries with Guardian Shield. And this is why this kind of unit combination works. You have those sentries with their shields. The Immortals are the ones that are wrecking you, though. They're doing all the damage. You need to get to them, but you can't. You have to wait. You have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentries with these shields up. Focus firing, and that's where I think players need to really start focus firing more, taking down one sentry at a time until there's nothing left. But the problem with that ball is that by the time there's no sentries left, the Immortals have killed you.
Yeah, and the thing about the Guardian Shield with the Immortals is it really makes him so much stronger because, you know, they already have that hardened shield which reduces damage, but then once you get through the shield, the Guardian Shield makes them take 2 less damage again from further attacks, so it just makes them even more immortal.
Yeah, and I mean, really, this is where Banelings, if Grog was able to get them out in time, would have come in handy to just sneak in there and take those sentries down off the bat, and then have the rest of the army deal with everything else. Because as weak as Hydras are against the Colossi, if you just focus fire them, you know, with like 12 Hydras, you'll get that Colossus down and then deal with the rest of the units.
So yeah, GG.
GG.
Well played.
And you thought
power.
You thought the Shoutcast was over.
Power.
But it's not.
Power.
On one of those rare occasions, we are going 2 games for this episode.
This is actually the second game that I played with Grog. We were practicing one day. It was like midway through beta, and we're only able to show you these because of the the Starcraft 2 manager that lets you watch old replays.
Yeah, download it. It's great. It also lets you check out the stats of each game, the APMs. It really gives you a lot of key information. It's really nice.
It's a nice utility.
So let's get this going.
Go!
And this is on Incineration Zone, a map that has been aborted,
Yeah.
given up for adoption, and is now living under a bridge.
I like
learning how to be
aborted.
a
I like the
criminal.
aborted better.
Being what?
Aborted.
Aborted, yeah. This game was just this map was just proven to be so unfair to everyone but Terran, essentially. So it went away. I think they
Yeah,
could
but Zerg versus Protoss is all is green pastures, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they could shore this map up a little bit. There was just a lot of problems
Yeah.
with how big the base area is, how short the rush distance.
I think that I think honestly, if you actually, well, I don't know if we should even talk about it now. But if you look at this part of the map, if they just made this path not exist, like
Okay.
this whole path not exist, so that you have to go all the way around the watchtower, I feel like that would fix a lot of problems with the map.
Well, just with Zerg in general, a lot of the problem too is that this whole base area is so big for your scout.
Yeah.
That getting in against Terran and having Overlord survive is impossible. Like
Yeah.
one Marine will kill your Overlord every time. You just can't scout unless you want to lose it.
I actually saw this really neat maneuver that Artosis does, where I think it's with either with speed or not, but he moves two overlords in from different angles, so that when the Terran responds and kills one, the other one is free to get in.
Okay.
It is, I guess, a little bit
I mean, you're still
riskier because
losing
you do lose. Yeah, you're basically sacking an overlord to get scouting information.
And so Grog, this game going for an even earlier expansion, going for the 14
Very, very
expansion
early hatch.
instead of the 16, is a little bit more common. So
Yeah.
there we go, pool going down just afterwards. So once again, going for a very, very, very heavy econ game.
And actually, we're showing this game to you guys second, but this game actually came first. So we're just trying our best to confuse you as much
Yeah.
as we can. But that's not really relevant. So,
And you going with a very similar build that you've done. Where I just a standard build in general, Gateway into Cybercore.
yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. This is, like I said, this is midway through beta. So things aren't as developed. I don't know if this is the optimal build. I don't know. I don't really like going core right after Gateway against Zerg anymore, because it's good. You get a really fast observer as Protoss, and you get that really good scouting information, but you are a little weaker early.
So you just prefer a second Gateway over a core?
I
just to
prefer
get
a
enough
second
units
fast
out?
Gateway and an early expansion to try to match the Zerg's hatchery.
Okay. And now, of course, the spine crawler is going down. Just a very, very standard tactic when you're going for a build that fast. You just
Yeah.
need some kind of defense. That Overlord just sneaking around the edges, which is really the only way. Actually, against Protoss, it's fine. So, I mean, you don't have any stalkers just yet, even though the cyber core is down. So that is the Zerg's cue to move the Overlord away, because a stalker can then pop out at any moment. Always very important to watch out for the little details like that.
But there is actually some interesting stuff happening over here.
Oh, but we have two things going on. We have Zerg just trying to push up here. Can't get through your hole. But, again, this is always just great to screw with you and to try to get a little bit of vision up the ramp.
And rather than the normal cybernetic score, I actually opt for a Stargate this
Wow.
game. And I built it. I made sure to build it behind the Scouting Overlord,
Yeah.
so that the Zerg was not able to see. And I think that's something you can keep in mind playing against Zergs as Protoss, or even as Terran, is that that they're going to try to scout you with an Overlord, especially as Protoss. So when you see the Overlord come in, if you want to hide tech, build it behind the Overlord, because they're so slow, it's not likely that the Zerg's going to turn around and scout back the same way.
Yeah. Oh, and so you have Void Rays coming out. But Grog is going for a once again, for a pretty gas-heavy build off his main base. And I wonder
Yeah.
if he, the first game that we watched, he really had way too much gas and wasn't able to capitalize on it anyway. And I'm interested to see if he does anything different or doesn't feel that same pressure this game.
So he actually is building, I think that's a Hydralisk Den, right? Or am I wrong? That's a lair.
He's upgrading to lair.
Okay.
And so you're really going for the void rays, putting your little rushy pants on it.
Well,
but-
yeah, I mean the rush distance on this map is so short. I normally am not a big fan of void rays, but just giving them a try, I guess.